Hello and welcome back to Everybody Loves Raiken, our 5th edition live play. When last we left off, the party had received their rewards for allying themselves with the Drow of Illustray and helping to free the city of Umberlight from the tyrannical grip of Lolth, the Spider Queen. Afterward, the party had gone about. They wanted to wait to meet with Cyrus' father, who he told them was coming, as well as recoup their strength before heading out again. But they have been told that their next destination, which supposedly holds the Sword of Bahamut, the Silver Fang, would likely be on alert if they hadn't already moved the artifact, so haste would be advisable. During the day, the members of the party had found ways to occupy themselves as they rested and waited for word from Cyrus' father. Vendar and Jebel went to the mycologists and began to learn about potions and poisons in the Drow alchemical art, while Laramendus went to see about the arcane resources of the Drow. Finding them lacking, he went about educating and bringing them up to speed on some of the basics of arcane magic. Leah went about collecting the written works of Lolth, as the city would no longer need them. And Raiken went to pray to Cord by finding some soldiers he could spar with. In the meantime, Yukikaze has been collecting his thoughts on recent events and has finally informed the party that they will be meeting so that they can discuss their next move. And so that's where we begin. Yukikaze, you have prayed to Bahamut, and you had left. Before that, you had left Raiken off in his room after he had gotten himself food poisoning. Cyrus, you had come back. You had been... Remind me.
I had been working on my, sketch and writing of the statue of Corellin, along with getting information about its like or dislike in the city, and about the Circle of Inspiration, or the Arcane Eye, as they call it,
Right.
or Artist Eye.
The
That's
Artist's Eye. Yes, that's all this seems. Okay, here we go. Yes. Very good. Alright, so, Yukikaze. Time has passed, perhaps, about as much as you were, looking for before calling your meeting. You had told the party to meet at 3 o'clock.
I don't know if it's 3 o'clock based on Raiken, but I know Larry Mendes would be here if it was 3 o'clock. So I will go into, since I finished praying and everything, I'll go in and see how Raiken's doing.
Okay. Raiken, it's been a little bit of time since you got back. You're feeling better since laying in the bed. You feel as long as you move slowly and stay close to the cushions, you won't risk being sick.
Michael will, now that he has cut out his bearings, he is going to use lay on hands on himself.
Okay, you spend 5 points of lay on hands and cure your food poisoning. You feel fit as a fiddle.
Ugh, why didn't I do that sooner?
You doing better now, Raiken?
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely fine now.
Well, that's good. So I don't think it's quite 3 o'clock yet because Lauren Mendes is not here. I guess we could just chill until everyone gets here. But
You can tell me about my brother now.
something we gotta talk with everyone about.
Why do they need to know about him?
Because it is actually something that is information that everyone needs to know about.
But it's my brother.
I know.
And you're withholding information about him from me, his brother.
I don't want it to explain it multiple times though. It's just I'm trying to remember everything, and it's just just be a little patient, okay?
I've been patient since you mentioned it.
Was it 3 o'clock yet? What the heck is everyone?
Something going on over here?
Oh, right. I apologize.
Cyrus is back. Hey, Cyrus. We're waiting. I got some stuff I want to talk with everyone with once everyone gets back. Is Leah here? Because it's her.
I believe Leah's here. Leah, you'd come back, yeah?
By this time? I guess that's up to you. Because I haven't gotten... I expect I didn't get the message upon meeting up because finding me was hard.
Fair enough.
No, Leah, then.
Well, I went around telling everyone, Cyrus. I think I told you, didn't I? No.
Nope. You
No.
didn't.
Well, I was running around and trying to get a hold of everyone to say, we need to meet up because, we need to discuss. Are we going to wait for you, Dad? How much time do you think it's going to be? How do you feel it's going to be? Oh, you actually have a time for it. Okay. So,
I just think that's what he said. I'm going to reconfirm over here.
Okay. Well, like I said, we're running short on time with getting to the next place because, the priestess has said, things make it more difficult the longer we wait. And I also have some other things other information I've received from Lord Bahamut that I want to impart to everyone.
Where are you carrying the shield? Do you just have it strapped to your back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I usually don't carry shields. Only in necessity do I use them, so it's just kind of slung over my shoulder on my back. Or however it hooks onto you. So yes. So we're waiting for everyone. Wherever the heck they may be.
Hey, if reconfirmed. He said he would be here, should be at the gate this evening.
Well, that's good.
Alright, Laramundus, it gets to be about 3 o'clock. You can head back.
Okay, yeah. My intent is to be there fairly promptly at 3. So
You have changed some perspectives here and given a basic introduction to how the magic should be understood and used to the people here. It is still tragic that they were not trained previously.
it just means they have more opportunity to learn.
There seems to be a conversation going on through the open door as you arrive.
Is everyone here?
No, just me. Just you, me, and the Dragonborn.
Just, do you mean Dragonborn? That's a nice way to put it.
That's racist.
Hey, Laramentus, you're here! Cool.
Yes, it is 3.
I
Just when you
kind of...
said to meet.
Yeah, I made a miscalculation and forgot that, like, you know time all the time, and the others don't. So, do you mind...
Understanding will dawn on Laramentus' face. It's like, yes, that would be difficult here.
Would you, like, mind maybe giving a shout-out to the others to tell them to come now, please? Or should we go fetch them?
If we want things to be done promptly, then I should probably send to them. It will mean that if we leave tonight, then I will be not at my full power, but...
Way to go, Yukikaze.
I'm never underground like this, okay?
I'm not gonna type out the sending.
You can just say it.
Yeah. Is there any message beyond we need to meet up now in the rooms that you wish to convey?
No, just get their booties over here.
To the voice in the sky, do I know that Jebel and Vandar are together? The answer could be no.
I mean,
We'll go with no, but I mean...
Yukikaze could tell you.
I didn't want to say that, because...
Okay, I mean, Laramentus was told to send to everyone, so he's going to send to everyone.
Oh my god, there's one less spell.
I send to Leah and wait a response.
Okay.
Confirmation, and then I move on to Vendar and wait for a response of confirmation. And then, if his confirmation doesn't include, okay, Jebel and I'll be there in a second.
I mean, so maybe use words and talk to Leah.
The sending is just, we're meeting up now. Please be back in the rooms.
Leah, you may respond.
Why?
Well, that's your whole response.
Oh no! Oh my god.
Raiken, I suggest you go and find your daughter.
I don't know where
Explain
she
to her
went.
the situation.
Where am I supposed to find her in the city?
You get to roll survival to track her down.
I turned to Yukikaze. Leah's response was why. Had you made clear why we were all meeting up?
I couldn't find her.
Oh my god.
I see.
That would have been helpful to know beforehand.
There's no point. Well, no one asked me, and there's no point in sending to the other two if we gotta find Leah anyways. I could go get Jebel and Vendar real quick. If you guys could quickly find Leah, that would be great.
Well, Tristan, I will start to make myself make my way back as soon as I'm done with whatever I'm doing. Like, I don't know at this point if I'm holding any books or anything, so I will just finish up that and start heading back.
Mm-hmm. I just wanna understand what you are doing with the books as you're collecting them. Are you just putting them in your bag of holding? Are you bringing them to this building to be dealt with by the priestesses? Are you just dumping them in a ditch?
Good point. At some point, I will have a discussion with Lorelei about it. Be like, but I'm conflicted. I don't think this book should exist, so I'm willing to destroy them. But Laramendes will be very disappointed in that. So I need an opinion from another Fae.
From another Fae.
I'm gonna go out and say the Fae angle is gonna be different between the two of us.
So you ask Lorelei what she thinks.
Yes.
I mean, she sort of looks like she's holding the leaflets. She looks at your books, and she looks at you, and she says, "Well, if they're not useful as weapons, and you don't want people using them for knowledge, then just destroy them. Otherwise, someone will use them."
I mean, how useful are these books? Like, they're so different. I haven't even looked in them.
I suppose Zin would tell you to protect them.
He would?
Zin was a spirit of protection. He protects all things.
Well, in that case, I'll bring them back to Laramendes, I guess. Or the temple, at least. So I will find a way to collect them.
You have a bag of holding.
I have a bag of holding. I'm gonna pay close attention to how much I put into the bag of holding, because I don't want to overweight it.
Okay, well, you collect like $100. They're like a pound each.
No, I'm going to have to open that thing.
So, after several minutes, she hasn't returned yet. So, what is happening in the room?
I'm gonna go just because I know where they are. I'm gonna go head out and get Vendar and Jebel because we don't know if we're gonna get Leah right away. So I'm gonna head out.
I'm waiting for them to show back up before sending again.
You did send to them?
Yeah, I thought I stopped you from sending to him after Leah's response.
That had been my understanding, that he had stopped because
So you did not send to them?
He did not make clear that they were in the same place, just that he knew where they were. But
are you sending?
If he knows where they are and is willing to go and get them, and we're waiting on Leah, I did not send to them.
Okay.
All right. Yes. So
you show up at the place. You knock on the door. The drow opens the door. Inside, you can see your friends working over their benches with their fumes and their concoctions. You can see the ferret standing on the desk, holding out a rather large mushroom that Vendar reaches over and takes from him.
all right. So wait. So the drow opened the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'll just say an undercomment. Just
like she opens the door, sees it's you, like grunts and turns and walks back in, leaving the door open.
Okay. Well, then I'll walk in. All right, guys. Do you have to get stopping point for all of us to meet up?
Yeah, if it's time.
Neither of you has any idea that it's 3 o'clock.
I'm not answering you, Tristan.
Vendor said, yeah, if it's time. Sorry.
I managed to mute myself, and then I was muted, and then I unmuted, and then I somehow muted myself again. So yeah, if it's time, I don't know how you expected us to know when it was 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that was a miscalculation on my part. So yeah, if you guys don't mind, I'd really appreciate if we could all meet up back at the rooms. Pretty much everyone's already there.
The mycologist will help you pack some things, write out a couple more instructions, say, in case you don't get to come back for further lessons, this at least will get you on your way.
Thank you.
Sounded like Leah.
Yeah, you said Leah.
Don't know why it did. Anyway, thank you. I very much appreciate it.
What did I
You've
say,
been
Leah?
wonderful teachers.
I don't remember saying Leah. I said the drow.
Yeah, you said Leah.
Really?
I did hear Leah too.
When did I say Leah?
You said that
Right
too.
before,
Yeah.
you said
Yeah.
the mycologist we're talking to.
Oh, weird.
That was odd.
I
because
was,
you're
I
the
was
mycologist.
confused too, but I answered anyway.
I don't remember saying Leah, but okay. Sorry, the mycologist say to you guys, Bendar and Jebel and not Leah. You will have some ingredients that you can use. You'll still have to go roll some nature outside to get more ingredients to make more things. I would like each of you to give me an intelligence roll. If you've got the poisoner's kit or the alchemist kit, you can add your proficiency to it. And this will reflect the what you were learning while you were there, and what you managed to take with you.
Is herbalism kit a thing? Is it alchemist kit?
I think it's an herbalism kit, I thought.
Yeah, I was just wondering if alchemist kit was a separate thing.
It probably
are.
is,
Yeah.
but herbalism kit's fine.
So you want that roll now?
Please.
So I'm adding my proficiency because I'm proficient with the herbalism kit, right?
Yes. And Vendar
Okay.
Poisoner's kit. Intelligence
I
roll.
got
Ooh, that's not too bad. That's an 18.
Okay, and Vendar, sorry. I think you
okay,
muted
I
again.
got a 21 then.
21. Oh, nice. Alright, with an 18 and a 21, you guys have blackened fingertips and singed eyebrows, and you some grease smeared on your faces at the end of this, but you feel like you've learned a great deal. I would like each of you to roll 1d6.
Four.
A 4.
Is this golf rules? Because I got a 1.
A 1, okay. You managed to come away with 1, Jebel. Supreme Potion of Healing.
Potion.
And Vendar, your 4 are going to be split into 2 drow poisons and 2 poisons that I will give you the stats of because I'm going to make them up.
Okay.
Then you can follow Yukikaze back to the rooms. Why? Alright, so, as for finding Leah, is that Raiken?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, roll me a survival.
Huzzah! Oh, das ist gut.
Nice.
19.
Very nice. And roll me I guess, persuasion.
This is supposed to be better. Oh man! Of course, I roll a 1, but I have +8, so 9.
Okay. So you know, you don't run into as many drow who want to help you, but between your ability to track and the people you do get word from, you do head in the right direction, and as you are walking the streets looking for Leah, you do come upon her heading your way.
There she is.
For simplicity. But we'll say that it takes you, 10 minutes to find her.
That's a lot sooner than I would have figured. Okay.
Rolled good on the survival, and, okay on the...
No, I rolled terribly. Thank God I have +8.
Thank God you're a charisma caster.
Leah, there you are. We need to get to the room for Yukikaze to explain stuff to us.
Is that what that was about?
Yes, but that was why Lair Mendes was sending to you.
Oh, that was a sending. Sorry, I'm used to the telepathic bond. I got confused.
Oh, well, yes. I guess that makes sense, though. It wasn't activated when we were all together, but
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
It's been a busy day.
Yes.
Were you out looking for me?
I kind of went to look for you because we needed to get everyone together as quickly as possible. And thankfully, I was able to find you after not too long.
If this is so urgent, why didn't it let snow before we went out in the morning?
I mean, it's Yukikaze. I don't know. I'm waiting for him to tell me important information, my brother, and he won't give it to me. So I don't understand his head very well.
Well, that's all of us trying to understand you, Dragonborn.
What is that supposed to mean? I'm very simplistic.
I raise an eyebrow.
Listen, we
Anyway,
can talk about this later. Let's head back to the room right now.
Okay.
Yay.
So there's no problem at all adding 100 pounds to the bag of holding. By the way, I'm very far away from filling it up, so all the books can easily fit.
Okay. I mean, I figure that's true. It's got 500 pounds that it can hold.
Yeah. But I did have a lot of it at the point before we all had bag of holdings.
It's true. But a lot of stuff got divvied out when everybody got their stuff, so I figured that you were pretty low again. Cool. So, you got your bag of books. Will you get back? And everybody seems to already be here. They've been waiting for a few minutes.
Alright, Yukikaze. Lay it on us.
He's muted. Oh, more.
Sorry. Just something I found out before we left and got everyone. Cyrus just informed us that his dad should be here this evening at the gate.
Oh yeah, the Dragon Daddy.
Yep. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted everyone to meet up, was to discuss, our plan of action if he didn't show up. Are we going to go tonight or go soon? So, just a little while ago, I was amidst prayer to Lord Bahamut, and I I was visited by him. Which
But in
reminds...
person?
No, not in person. Well, I guess you say in person, but also that brings another point. Blair Mendes, this is actually... I have to know, just in case maybe you might know. I was in the presence of an aspect of Lord Bahamut, and he had 7 yellow canaries on his shoulder. And this aspect of him, I don't ever remember. I was wondering if there was any lore or information that you might have known or come across in the past, or that Ash might know of that I forgot, and I'm ashamed that I forgot if I did.
Can I make a religion check?
You may.
Yeah, I raise a hand.
Oh. Oh.
Does raising a hand mean? What do? You raise your hand to the party or to me?
No, I raise my hand. Like Leah's raises her
Oh, okay.
raising her hand.
What's up, Leah?
Guess what I rolled.
What is a canary?
Small yellow bird, I believe.
Yeah, it's just a small yellow bird.
Can I cast minor illusion to make an image of a minor image, whatever the cantrip is?
Yeah, you may.
To make a minor illusion.
Yeah.
This.
It's either minor illusion or major image.
I rolled a 1 on die.
Oh, okay. Which is still
14.
A 14.
Which is probably not good enough.
It's good enough to know that many gods sometimes will assume different forms if they feel that's going to be better accepted by anyone they want to deal with in person.
Mm-hmm.
So, there isn't a reason to completely discount saying that the god appeared this way to him, but you don't know any stories of it.
Mm-hmm. I'm unfamiliar with any information regarding canaries, but it's possible that do you perhaps like these birds? Maybe he thought that they would make you more comfortable.
Not in particular, but I just thought maybe it was an aspect that he possibly has used in the past, and I felt bad that I did not remember.
Would Raiken
Maybe they represent
be able
his
to
children.
roll, Tristan?
I
Living at the seat of Bahamut, which is basically Bahamut Central.
Yes, you can roll. I just want to hear what Vendar said again, because I kind of got a little bit drowned out.
So maybe they represent his children. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did hear that. I was hoping that... so thank you for repeating it. I was hoping that maybe somebody else would respond.
That could be very true.
Doesn't he only have 5 direct descendants, though? And didn't we get told they were all deceased?
Maybe he had more kids.
Maybe he's represented one more than once because they were his favorite.
Alright. We got a little off topic with this. I was irritated that I wouldn't have recognized an aspect of our Lord. So that's what I was mainly getting at with that.
Alright.
So,
Raiken, what was your religion roll again?
20.
20, okay. Let me give Raiken his result first before you continue.
okay.
Living in a place that strongly reveres Bahamut, you would hear many, many stories about him. Battles he's won, his beliefs and the forms he's taken. There are stories that you're aware of that get shared, talking about how sometimes when travelers or adventurers or warriors are lost in their path out in the wilds, they might encounter an old man who gives them strange guidance, as though prophetic. And while stories of this type of wandering sage get around, you know that as they collect in Arcosia, more and more Dragonborn are convinced that it is Bahamut guiding the righteous.
Okay. But nothing about canaries.
The old man is said to be eccentric. The stories about him and what he looks like are myriad.
Okay.
So that there would be one that talks of a man with birds is probable, if not even likely.
Well, I had heard stories during my time back home that warriors believed Bahamut to show up to them as an old man type of sage. So it's certainly within the realm of possibility that that is just another form that he likes to take.
I feel bad that I've neglected my studies on. Anyways, all right. Thank you for the information, Raiken. I appreciate it. And yes, Cyrus, what were you gonna say?
This is mostly a question for the DM.
Okay.
Is this something Cyrus? Would any of this be something Cyrus is aware of? Having been, raised by a dragon and all.
Or religion.
All right, that's not great. What is my bonus? I pulled up the wrong sheet. 1 second. Religion. Great. Yeah, that's a 9.
Nope. Never heard of this one. Seems really weird. If you're going to be a god and a powerful dragon, why appear as something less than that?
Fair enough.
Alright.
Why don't you ask Cyrus when he turns up?
With what Raiken has given me, Jebel, it's enough to tell me that I know it was him. It's just I felt bad that I would not have recognized one of his aspects. So
why don't you ask his father if he knows any more aspects?
It's all good. I appreciate the suggestion. So
is Cyrus related to Bahamut?
I shrug.
Is he your granddaddy?
I mean,
Granddaddy
no.
Bahamut?
Like the closest it could be would be great grandfather, but I highly doubt that.
Great granddaddy. All right.
Wow. All right. So, as I was amidst prayer, Bahamut visited me in my prayer, in my meditation. So as I was praying, I was in darkness like I was with the shield. When Lord Shagrazir, or Sir Shagrazir, appeared to me. The same as my previous visions with my pendant, responding, and although it was a bit different this time, and I heard footsteps, big heavy footsteps, and as they were getting closer, I saw a silhouette of a giant dragon, and just as it was, seemed like it would just appear, it a human approached. That was the aspect I was inquiring about. Old man with an eye patch, He had nice clothes with a traveler's cloak on, and 7 yellow canaries that were resting on his shoulders, and they would shift positions here and on occasions. The beginning of the conversation started off with me being puzzled at the sight at first of him, and he addressed me about the pendant and informed me that he was pleased that finally Dragonborn has lit more than 3 of the points on the pendant, and a little surprised that no one else was able to do it, and that once all the points are lit, that it would actually tell me where the gems are to seal the chromatic dragons, and that I have shown great promise with following his tenets, with helping liberating Umbrelite, that actually lit another point. Correct, Tristan? Right? Yeah.
Yes, the blue point is now lit.
Yes. So, he also, with the conversation, I asked him if the all the dragons were awake, and he said no, one still is sealed. So 4 of the 5 dragons are up and about.
Did you say which one's sealed? Probably the white one. It could be the red one.
I actually forgot to ask what color or what one of the chromatic dragons was still slumbering. I didn't think to ask that. It was all a lot to take in, and I was in the presence of Lord Bahamut, so and alright, I lost my train of thought for a second. So he informed me about the pendant, and he also stated that he what hinted to something being amiss in the world was that he had a devout follower of his assist in the unsealing of the chromatic dragons, which brought more of his attention here. And things have been kind of out of whack with our world, and he wasn't able to give me clear visions of what's gonna hints to where to go and whatnot, because nothing is clear right now, and he's only able to see so much in our world out of the many worlds he's in, or he takes care of or visits. And that he believes that this individual doesn't realize the extent of what he has done. And we should probably, or Lord Bahamut wanted us to find this individual and understand why he's done what he's done, and why he has strayed from his path.
He wants us to find one particular person in Hall of Amaranth.
Yes, and it is. Lord Bahamut actually was more specific, and it is to find Raiken's brother.
What?
What?
Yes. So, before I get into, we're going to get more into that. So, as the conversation progressed with Lord Bahamut, I feel like I'm missing a part of it. Crap. So, finding the sword should be hopefully one of the final tests to getting all his gifts to us, or gift to the Dragonborn together to fight the chromatic dragons. So if we retrieve the sword, hopefully I should have succeeded in my last task for him, and that we may be able to beat Raiken's brother to the last dragon, because Lord Bahamut was able to impart to me that south of us in the swamps, that is where the last dragon is. And then the conversation went on to me asking about if I was able to get back my father and some of the Dragonborn that perished at the hands of Shisharan. And Lord Bahamut said that, as long as they still wish to come back, there is a way for them to come back. So, and then he left, or then my prayer ended, and he left my my presence. And so, what then, to elaborate on what I held from Raiken earlier, was because we were dealing with this battle and stuff, I didn't want to accuse or bring up troubling news about someone important to him in the midst of everything that was going on. I felt him just wondering what happened to be less than saying what happened. When I was on the verge of death, when we were fighting that abomination, and I told you guys that I saw the spirit of my father, Ryuzaki. He informed me that as he was dying, he saw, and the reason why more of my clansmen didn't die is the Dragonborn of Akojo did not fight Shisharan at all. But they drove her off with words. And there was a discussion between the leader of the Arkosian Dragonborn and Shisharan. And my father believed that there would have been nothing that should have been severe enough to drive her from finishing off my clansmen before going. So something is amiss and related to Raiken's brother and the chromatic dragons. And that's the piece of information.
All right.
I can't believe this. There's no way Tatsuya would turn on us.
But, that's it's from the spirit of my dad and Lord Bahamut. Either something's forcing his hand, or he's waking up or unsealing the dragons.
It's not possible. I know my brother.
Then it is still possible. It's some further control. I mean, someone was forcing my hand to do evil before.
Well, I'd hope that also Lord Bahamut would have sensed something that his hand was forced, but he does want to know why he would have done this to begin with. So it's possible that it's unsure.
Well,
But he
There
is.
is- after you.
Oh, I was just saying, but he is involved and is unsealing the dragons.
While this is grave news, there are two upsides. We now know that one of the dragons is still sealed, and we have evidence to believe that it's Karsoth, the red dragon. Because it was his hunting ground that was in the south of Sudaran.
Okay. I actually personally did not know that.
You can thank pinned Discord messages for that one.
We can also confirm with a commune.
So my thoughts are for plan of action is get the sword and then head to the South Swamps.
If we're wanting to stop whoever's raising the dragons, that would be the best course.
Are we going to have enough time, though?
That's what I'm worried about also.
Well, I've recently learned to teleport, so that could cut down our travel time or extend it greatly, as I don't have a link to that particular place.
Teleporting?
I do not know any circles there. I still have yet to... I turned to Cyrus. I still have yet to send to that colleague of mine in the art department. Depending on how things go there, we might... And where the statue gets sent, maybe we can pull some favors and find a circle.
Perhaps.
Otherwise, we're in for a long walk.
Again, as long as I know where we're going, I can try regardless. It's just the chances are not ideal.
How nice is your dad?
He's usually nice.
Usually?
Maybe give us a ride.
I wouldn't bet on it given the current state of things.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
But if we share this information, he may be able to head there ahead of us and cut off,
Delay them?
delay the person.
Do we think that Sam is forgetting the name of Raiken's brother?
Tatsuya.
Tatsuya.
Tatsuya is aware of our knowledge of his actions?
I probably would say no.
We could attempt to send to him to push him in the wrong direction, or at least slightly off, to buy us a bit more time.
That's actually a good thing. A good idea.
It would not be unreasonable for us to want to send an Arcosian military unit to help us secure one of the gems that we know is in danger if we've come into some knowledge.
Oh, well, that depends on if he knows where the last one is, and he already knows that 4 of the dragons up. So, if we try to direct him, and he already knows where to go, he could be hinted that we know what's up.
It does depend on his information being general or not necessarily as up-to-date as ours.
We could perhaps try something that's not going to be a gamble and try to just find out where he is. Try and touch base.
Yeah, it'd probably be hard for him to come help us in the Underdark, as to say, come help us. I'll try. Well, actually, we could. Not that considering what we're up against, we could always tell them that we're at some place. Like, you could say, like, ask him where he is, and then be like, oh, well, we are here. Can you meet us here? That's a good distance to delay him. Like, just completely misdirect him. Although once he doesn't find us there, then he would know something was up.
We would need to be thoughtful about our reasoning for drawing him somewhere else to meet up with us.
Yeah, I know.
Raiken is going to get up, clear his throat, and say, I need some space, and storm out of the room.
Anywhere in particular?
Leave the building and just go somewhere.
Okay.
Oh, straight out through the wall. Oh, he is down.
I'll just set you over there for now.
Okay.
Unless there's any particular interactions you want to be having. So that I know, are you removing yourself from the scene, or do you want to go...
Nah, he's removing himself from the scene.
Okay.
So, Jabu was saying, if you chose your words carefully, you could misdirect Tatsuya without letting him know that we know what he's doing.
Would being honest and saying we have all the, or like saying that we're on our way to get the last piece to fight the chromatic dragons would make him want to try to stop us? Or might it accelerate him trying to go unseal the last dragon?
Are you asking us if he would respond in a certain way?
Yeah, well, I'm just posing the pros, saying, hey, we could say that the sword, we're on our way to get it, and he could come and try to stop us, or there's also the possibility that accelerate him trying to get the last gem unsealed.
I was just going to say, the one person who could feasibly answer that question just left the room.
That is true.
My guess would be that if he is not close enough to attempt to prevent us, and let's assume that he is working with the same group of people who are working with the drow, so he knows that the drow should have all of the other pieces that he did not already see in our possession. And if we tell him that, we wouldn't be giving them any more information than they already have, that they know that we are here and that things are likely unsafe. But unless he is nearby to attempt to do anything about it, I don't see any reason why he would try and make his way here.
Okay.
The most reasonable thing for him to do would be to expedite his plans.
Well, we could inquire where he is in an honest way, to where we could say that since we know about we could say Yukikaze got word that his tribes were attacked, and well, Raiken could say something as, brother, are you okay? Yukikaze gave me word that the tribes were attacked, and I wanted to know if you were still there. Are you okay? Where are you? And as just an honest way to say, hey, are you okay? Where are you? And then we could scry to see if he is there where he says he is.
So out of character, if you use scrying, the spell, does the target know that they're being scryed upon?
Not if you succeed.
No, yes, not if you succeed. If you fail, they know someone is trying to spy on them.
Oh wait, you can you scry a person?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I've done that.
Right, damn.
I have a question. Yukikaze, you said that they drove off Shasharan with words. Does that mean that it's possibly his whole unit that's in on this and not just him?
I think it was mainly the leader that was talking to him, but I don't know if I'm not sure. It might be all of them because none of them attacked Shashar. None of them fought. I don't know if it was on Tatsuya's order or what. Well, all I know is they did not attack, and I want to say that if I remember right, Tatsuya is the one that drove Shisharan off with words. But I figured his unit would question him being able to do that too, unless he was showing that he's impressive.
If we want to confirm that it is indeed Tatsuya who was the one, then we can try and come up with a question with Commune that would give us that answer.
Refresh my memory, what's commune again?
It's a divination spell through which I can gain answers to yes/no answers to 3 questions from a higher power. It's a ritual that I can cast once a day. Casting it more times means that it has an increased chance to receive no response. I also have contact other plane if we would like a different method of inquiring and reaching out to other types of individuals, which would give us 5 questions, but has the chance to make me insane for a short amount of time.
Only a short amount of time.
It depends how early in the day I do it. I personally prefer commune, but
well, if it's yes or no, so what would be our best questions then if we did use that? Would be like, is Tatsuya involved, or is Tatsuya the one unsealing the dragons? Or actually, probably should say, is Tatsuya being forced to unseal the dragons?
I believe the first question should be whether or not Tatsuya was the one who spoke with Shasharan and convinced them to leave.
Okay.
At the camp there. Some wording on that. If the question was, is he the one that spoke with the dragon?
That's fine. That just will concrete some of the information that I gave.
Mm-hmm. And then we can confirm via another source for Raiken. We could ask something along the lines of whether Tatsuya or whoever it ends up being is aware of the location of the insert color to be determined via a different question gem. Or I suppose the general vicinity might be a better way of phrasing it, since the location could be too specific to be useful to us. And then if they are aware of the location, we could try and determine if they are intending to head in that direction. We're now at 4 questions, though, which does mean either doing it over the course of multiple days, or using contact other plane.
Or just using commune multiple times and hoping, as it only takes time, not resources.
It is true.
Wait, why is there 4?
We need to know which color. We want to be sure which color gem it is that is remaining.
Oh.
And we may also want to excuse me. We may also want to use one to confirm if the sword is still there when we set out.
I would say put the color.
It sounds like 5 questions, and we should just do the one that makes you insane.
It is a spell I have never cast.
Well,
see, a new experience.
I wouldn't want it.
I have been insane, though, so I'm not sure if the experience would quite be new.
Well, you gotta test it to find out. Discovery requires experimentation.
Yeah, but we don't want Blairminus out of his wits when we have Cyrus's father coming, and we need to be ready to go.
But it would be funny.
No,
unfortunately, now is not the time for
jokes.
Doing things just because they might be funny. When we are in a safe environment for an extended amount of time, you may come up with 5 questions, and I will ask them via contact other plane.
Okay.
You can ask them if there's a better poison out there.
That is a question that could be answered.
Then I could ask how to make it.
That is not a question. Again, contact other plane.
It's just yes.
Has yes, no, or I think unknown is another one that it can do.
Well, then I'll just have to narrow down spells where I can find the information.
But that is for a later time.
So, I say that we commune the most important ones first, so that we guarantee get those answers, and then do the ones that is dire to know for the last 2 in case they don't get answered. So, did Tatsuya was the one to speak with Tishisharan? It was color, and does he know where it is? Oh, I forget the other 3.
You were writing them down, right?
No.
I'm writing them down now. I'm trying to remember how to spell the house name. I'm waiting for it just to cycle through.
Yukikaze doesn't have pen and paper on him.
But doesn't he? We all have
No.
journals.
Okay, I'm going to write this on the map. And then
My
we can-
journal is in my bag in my room.
Why would you leave your bag of holding in your room?
Because it's safe there?
Safer on you.
Can't man, there's thieves about. You're in a room with one.
Never know. You come back, it could be gone.
You know. I have more.
What's the name of the red dragon?
Karasov, something like that. I can copy it for you.
Yes, please.
His name is Clifford.
The
No.
big red dragon.
See? And now a plan comes together.
You figuring out the wording of the questions?
I'm not figuring out the exact wording yet. I'm writing down the gist of the questions.
Okay.
And then we can discuss them and modify as necessary.
Okay. It makes sense that Larmendus would always have a book attached to his body.
There was like one time where you did not see me with my book, and that was when we were in the Lich's dungeon. And pretty much that entire time, Larmendus kept reaching for his book and then looking dejected.
Saddest day.
It was a very long, like 3 days for him.
It's only 2.5.
There was the whole being insane thing. It was a very long 3 days.
Actually, you didn't
He
get
didn't
your
get the
butt
book
back
back
until you got to Tuca, so there was another,
like a
like,
week and a
4
half.
days on top of that, and it was, like, 4 days out, too. So 3, I think it was 3 back, 4 out, and then 2, so it was, like, 9 days without your book.
So I have
It's almost a week.
I have 4 written down.
Weeks or 7
now.
days in this world. This isn't Roshar. You got everything written down?
I have 4 of them down, but there were more, weren't there? So
I remember at some point somebody said, well, that's 5.
Yeah. So I have. Did Tatsuya speak with Shisharan to get them to cease the attack on the Dragonborn camp in the desert? Has Karasov, the Red Dragon, child of Tiamat, been awakened? Does Tatsuya, and that's does Tatsuya or whoever we might determine is the one know the general vicinity of the red gem to awaken Karasov, and Karasov can be exchanged for the other one if we, the previous question. Thing subject to change. Is Tatsuya heading towards the red gem? I don't remember what. Let me look up what the timeline of commune looks like what we can. So there's no set. So that's a question that we need to be very careful about. Does he have plans to head toward head towards the red gem?
Well, why do we have to be careful about that?
Because if I say, is he heading towards the red gem that he knows the location of with which to awaken Karasov, and he is asleep right now? I pause expectantly.
Like, well, it's hard to ask that because if either one of them is no, then it's a no.
Yeah, we will not ask questions that are useless given an earlier question.
Oh, yeah.
So if, for example, we figure out that it is not the red dragon that is still what's the word I'm looking for?
Unsealed.
Right. If we determine that the red dragon has already been unsealed, then we would not ask if he knows where the red gem is to awaken the red dragon. We would instead go with white.
Do you have to ask these all? Do we have to ask these all at once, or do you ask them one by one?
All of the questions are asked one at a time, but must be asked within a minute. So it is good to have a list and just move down that list.
Well, I was just going to make sure that we don't give them all the questions and we can't modify them as we progress through them. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes, one at a time, so we can use information gleaned from the first question to influence the second question, and so on and so forth. It is useful to have the different variations all set so that we can say, depending on what the answer to the first question is, we ask this one or this one, and then move on in that way.
All right, I'm cool with those being the first three, but what was our last one again?
Cyrus has just reminded us about making sure that the sword is still in the city where we expect it to be.
Okay. Any input from anyone else? Suggestions, changes, remarks?
How do make sure he won't know it's us? And I mean, if he's no longer an ally.
We are not speaking with him. I hope. He should not be the one that responds to these spells. It would be very surprising and a bit concerning.
I'm confused.
I'm casting Commune, through which I intend to speak with some representative of Ione.
Oh.
We are not yet intending to send to him to figure out exactly where he is or send him off track.
Then how can we know if Ione won't come after us?
What?
I'm confused by your question.
The ferret is just sitting on Vendar's shoulder, looking at you all with a very serious look in his eyes.
I mean, never mind. I'm just confused by it all.
What question about Ione's intentions do you have? Perhaps we can clear things up.
I don't know.
Are you clear, Leah, on who Ione is? Ash says, turning towards you.
It's like a god of knowledge or something?
Yes, Ione is the goddess of knowledge. She seeks to know all information and share all information with the world so that everyone may be equally prepared to deal with every eventuality.
But how would that help us? Like, this sounds like something that might be planned behind her back. I don't know. Like this whole if someone is controlling him, someone powerful enough to bring back all of the dragons of Tiamat, wouldn't they make sure that the good gods don't know about it?
Indeed. But the gods aren't the ones who know and deal with every problem in the world. That is why they empower their followers, like the clerics and the paladins. That way they have agents who will act in their stead, so that they can pay attention to much more grandiose things.
Yes.
So we're just hoping to get the right information by someone.
It will be an agent of Ione, another entity who is more involved with this world.
It is possible that any question that we ask is the answer is unclear if the information is being hidden too well, which would be useful to know anyway.
We saw that when you dealt with the Lich. Information was obfuscated.
But the answer that we gain from the spell commune will, if it comes back yes or no, it will be correct to the wording of the question, which is why we need to be careful. Such as is he heading towards the gem? No, he's sitting down having tea, and is therefore not heading towards the gem.
Well, that sounds painful.
So long as we take the time to word these questions correctly, any answer you receive will be useful. Yes, no, or even unknown would prove useful.
So that's kind of like the stories of jinns and such, right? Where they take things too literal.
I don't believe that most of the time, at least with commune, the taking things literally would be intended as malicious, but it's not something that I want to risk, given the limited amount of questions that we can ask. I would rather spend more time to be clear in exactly what it is we want to know than depend on some celestial entity correctly interpreting common.
So, do you still wish to scry on Tatsuya? I mean, I have the spell, and with my connection to him, it shouldn't be too hard.
Depending on how things go, it might be useful to be scrying on him, yes.
Out of character, the questions here in chat, are they what Laramentis has said to us that he has, the questions that he has devised so far?
Yes, so the questions currently in chat are the bones of the questions that we seem to have come to an agreement are things that we should ask. If you have other things in mind...
Are they written down?
Hmm?
Has he just spoken them, or has he written them down?
At this point, Laramandus would probably be writing, just to get the wording correct. But we have spoken all of these questions.
Yeah, so Jebel has just been thinking, and he just goes, do we think that Tatsuya might have the gem already?
That is a useful question.
Because
I've been working under the assumption that he didn't, but...
because if he does, and asking if he knows the general vicinity of where the gem is, the answer would be yes, it's in his backpack. You know, but does he have plans to head towards the red gem? Would then be kind of like if his backpack's in his tent and he's going to bed.
Makes sense as a question to insert into there, and I will make that note.
Well, Laramandus, with your knowledge of magic, if something was a sealing device, would it not have to be in the vicinity of whatever it is sealing?
My understanding is that the ritual to unseal one of these dragons does involve the gem being brought to the dragon's resting place. However, that does not mean that the gem is close or far from the resting place. The question had been, we want to know for sure if he knows where it is, if he's in possession of it, or if he's intending to take it, and then if yes to those, if he either is intending to take it or is already in possession of it, we'd be able to figure out if he's. I mean, presumably he would be heading towards the resting place, which I don't know if we know for certain where it is.
Well, the reason why I was just getting was just the thing for clarification of narrowing down our questions, so we're not asking more than to make sure we ask the right questions, you know. So that's just why I was just wondering, from your knowledge of magic, if something is sealing, if it has to be close by, or if it can go long distances.
You're asking in general if I were to
use
seal something and I had a key to unseal it, if the seal only remained intact if the key was within some distance of it.
Yes.
Can I roll Arcana?
To see if you have some understanding if that's how it works?
Yeah.
You may roll Arcana, but this is a very esoteric item.
Yeah. So I think he's asking more generally.
Typical sealing magic.
Not specifically this thing. So like if I were to attempt to do this without something along these lines, without the aid of divine entities, which would have been necessary for this actual spell. That was a 17 on die.
Nice. I still need to make sure that I'm fully understanding what the question is, because I feel like I have an interpretation and I feel like it's wrong.
So here, Tristan, this is what I'm asking. Specifically, not just this spell, because it's divine, but typical sealing magic. If you seal it using an item, does that item can travel long distances from the whatever it's sealed? Like is it uncommon or common for to use something to seal some entity, and then the seal can go wherever the hell it wants around the world?
I mean, usually you would not use an object for this. Usually you would set some kind of situation.
So the closest approximation here is just if you think of, which your character seems to be thinking of, this thing that they've done to the dragon as a lock and key, then thinking along normal humanoid lines, if you have a thing locked and you keep the key far away from the lock, that makes it harder to locate.
Oh, that's a fair point. Yeah, that's true.
And as a follow-up, like in character, if Anna's question is in character,
It was.
well, we know that the scale for Shasharn was kept, was likely a several days' journey away from her resting place. So it shouldn't have to be close by. If they all work the same, that is.
Okay.
A couple days could be close by.
All right. It was just the thought that because I was wondering, like, because then that would make a good point to find out if Tatsuya does already have the gemstone. All right.
If he has it, I do think that gives it is useful information to know if he has it.
Well, yeah. You just gotta remember, it's like I am not that great with magic. Like I know a decent amount, like especially traveling you guys. I've expanded my knowledge on magic, but it has not been my strong suit in life.
The waste of a 35, perhaps. I got 35 Arcana.
I mean, so the problem is that, like, this is esoteric, and so if it works the way he's interpreted it to work, that makes sense, but if it works some other way, this might be completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just the thought.
If I were to be creating an order of cells to guard different keys to different locks, and I could have the keys as far away as possible, I would not have the cells nearby. I would not have put Shasharan's scale in Tuka.
That's a fair point. If
I
we
would
were
have put it in
Eppingard.
yes.
All right, no,
Or at the bottom of whatever that like endless hole that probably goes into the plane of water on the south side of the continent is. The well or whatever it is.
All right, it makes sense. It was just a thought, so I'm good on my end. I just thought I'd ask that. All right.
It's a good question.
All right, so do we got any other input?
So currently, the gist of the questions is, was it Tatsuya? Is it the red dragon who is still sealed? Does Tatsuya have the... I did not copy everything properly. Does Tatsuya or someone under his command possess the gem to unseal the remaining dragon? Does Tatsuya know the general vicinity of the gem to unseal the dragon that is still sealed? Does Tatsuya have plans to head towards that? And is the last piece of the sword of Bahamut still in the city that we are going towards?
I'm sorry, I just like that before you fixed it. One of the questions was just, gem?
Yeah. Unclear. Fair.
Nia's gonna get up and head for the door, saying "Excuse me" to Jebel as he squeezed by him.
May I ask where you were going?
I'm gonna check on that.
I would not wish to cast the spell until we have him here as well, so that we can have his input. Especially should the first question yield different results.
Let me see if I can get him back, but he might need more time.
Before you go, why don't I cast Telepathic Bond?
Sure.
That way we can be aware of when you find him and if you are heading back.
Yeah, go for it.
I begin doing so.
It takes like a minute or something.
Takes 10 minutes and 6 seconds.
Oh boy.
Talk amongst yourselves.
You cast the ritual. After 10 minutes, you are all telepathically linked.
Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2.
There's feedback because we're all right next to each other.
Just keeps going infinitely.
I don't think that's how thinking work.
We can't stop thinking it.
It's like if two mind readers try to read each other's minds.
Well, yeah, at that point, Leah will leave and try to find Raiken.
Are they just reading their own thoughts?
Yeah, that's the question.
Do we want to jump over to Leah searching and hopefully Leah finding Raiken? Or
Yep, Leah, you are going to roll survival and also diplomacy. Excuse me. What do they call it? Persuasion.
Persuasion is what used to be diplomacy.
Yep. But it's the best approximation I have for, like, streetwise.
Right. I also have the street feet. You know, the no, it's not the feet, but it's that background thing from Urchin.
Okay.
It doesn't have like an actual function. It's just something you can take into consideration, I guess, for just being
It
having
means
street.
you know how to get around and navigate. It also can mean that you know who to talk to, so you can identify the right people to talk to. So why don't you take a +5?
Okay. On both rolls or just one of them?
Just the persuasion roll.
Okay. So for survival first.
Yeah,
Just
because this is
the-
just like
the-
trying
the-
to track him.
Survival is all on the bottom. 20.
Wow, not bad. Especially considering it's a city. Alright, give me that persuasion.
That was a way worse roll, but I have a +5, so that helps. Persuasion is there. Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. I have a very good persuasion. Makes sense. My charisma is maxed. 24.
Okay. Then you are able to identify not only as you're going in the unpaved portions of the city, the heavy sunken footsteps of Raiken, which you can follow into the right areas to ask the right people where he'd gone from there. And after just about 20 minutes of walking, just because of, having to take it slow, look for signs, and then talk to people, you do you get directed to Raiken, who is just sort of sitting in the middle of the rampway here, because it's an enclosed cave type area that people use to move from the mid city to the lower city. And you can see as you approach that there is just a few drow who seem to be standing off from him. They seem to be talking about him, and there's like one who seems to be like reaching out and touching his shoulder and then smiling and walking away.
Okay. I will walk up to him. Dad, are you alright?
How could I be alright? They're saying Tatsuya betrayed us.
Well, we don't know yet. It's possible it could be under control, you know? Let's not lose hope yet.
The Tatsuya I know wouldn't do something like this. That's why I'm hoping it's some kind of charm or mind control. He was devoted to Bahamut, just like the rest of my family and pretty much the rest of our Koja. They wouldn't just turn their backs and go with the chromatic dragons and Tiamat.
Yeah, I find it very hard to believe too. He seemed very proud of his clan and everything. It doesn't make sense.
When I first started following Cord, he was very disappointed with me. More disappointed with me than my parents. He wanted me to follow Bahamut just like him. That's why I just can't see him doing what he's doing.
No. I mean, you were supposed to be the black sheep, right?
Yes, that was supposed to be the case. Hopefully it still is.
Yeah.
But now I'm afraid if we go after the sword, we won't have enough time to stop whoever it is, if it's Tatsuya or somebody else.
First, we're gonna try to figure it out. The boys have been making up a plan to commune with someone of Ion to see if we can get some more information. And then if we have to, I will scry on him to try to see if we can see for sure, but I'm with you, hoping we're wrong. That he's not behind this.
I want you to scry on him anyways.
Are you sure?
Yes. But I guess I've had my breath of fresh air. Settled my thoughts a bit. I guess it's time for me to go back.
Yeah, we don't want to start anything without you there.
Very well, Leah. Let's get back to them before any more time passes. Raiken will hold out his hand to her,
She'll take it.
and they will walk back together side by side.
I imagine she's only capable of like holding a finger or something.
Just his little pinky, like a baby.
So, do you utilize your telepathic bond to let them know you found him and are heading back?
Yeah.
Okay. So, after roughly 20 minutes, you get a sign from Leah that she's got him and she's coming back, and then another roughly 10 minutes later, they show up.
Welcome back.
Yes. So, give me the update.
The general gist of the questions we are intending to ask are, did Tatsuya, and we can get more specific to make sure that it's clear which Tatsuya, speak with Shisharan to get them to cease the attack on the Dragonborn camp in the desert. I suppose we can include a date as well if we want to be most specific. Has Karasoth, the Red Dragon, child of Tiamat, been unsealed? Does Tatsuya, or I suppose if the answer is no to the first one, does the one who spoke with the Shisharan to get them to cease the attack on the Dragonborn camp in the desert, or someone under their command, have possession of the gem to unseal whichever dragon it is that we determine is currently still sealed, based on
me with that
previous question.
Gave it to his second in command, so I can say no.
Oh, I started tight. That one was just like, does he or so? But then I was like, what if they're not someone under his command? What if he gave it to a superior? So I'm still not positive about the wording there. We'll
Ally.
see. I suppose, ally is a good one.
Why am I helping you?
Ash is very helpful, okay?
As just hovering over the list, like, what if we change this word to that word? That will catch more things.
Does Tatsuya, or insert long phrase to describe possibly not Tatsuya, know the general vicinity of the gem which we have determined the color previously to unseal a dragon that we have determined is going to be unsealed? Does person have plans to head towards the gem to be used to unseal the dragon? And is the Sword of Bahamut, or whatever the name it actually is, the question as written down in the chat is Sword of Bahamut. I don't remember. Was it the Dragon's Claw or something like that?
Silverfang.
Silverfang. Is the Silverfang still in the city that we expected it to be in? That I don't remember the name of. Those are the questions that we currently have down in that order. Although I suppose we might want to move the question about the Silver Fang up to the first one, since that is currently the most pressing.
That's fine by me.
I have an additional question to propose. Assuming that the answer to this question about the sword is yes, we should ask if they will move it before we have time to get there.
Will it be removed from the city in the next insert number?
I believe the spell itself has a limit of 7 days that I can see.
The spell does not specify.
Is that just divination then? That I'm thinking of?
Maybe. I do not have divination though, so.
I will go check for my own curiosity.
Yes, divination specifies. Commune. You contact your deity or a divine proxy and ask up to 3 questions that could be answered with a yes or no. You must ask your questions before the spell ends. You receive a correct answer for each question. Not necessarily omniscient, so you could receive unclear. In a case where a one-word answer could be misleading or contrary to the deity's interest, there might be a short phrase, but none of these questions, as we are wording them, I feel like would get anything other than a yes, no, or unclear.
Those are usually safest.
Yeah, I would rather not, like, gamble on Ion being like, well, if I say no, then it's because it's just it's easier to it's easier to ask exactly what you want to know.
Yeah, I was thinking of divination that had the 7-day time limit.
I do think that adding in the time in it is probably useful, as however long it's going to take us to travel there. So we are proposing question 6. The silver fang going to be removed from insert city here
Bender, how do you feel about these questions?
within the
They sound fine to me.
time frame here.
Any
And we
burning
will-
questions you have that you want to ask a god?
Not really.
Any more
I got
questions you want to
loads.
add in so that there's no way that I won't have to use contact other plane?
Maybe I specify that they.
I mean, I would like to ask about poisons, but I also want to risk making their men just go crazy for that. So.
Oh, contact other plane, you can get a maybe. You get yes, no, maybe, never, irrelevant, or unclear.
Sweet,
Ooh,
magic
sounds
8
like
ball.
fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Thought Bendar's question would be, can I ghoulify gods?
Outlook not good.
Unclear.
Is there a divine poison?
I mean, if there's ambrosia of the gods, there must be poison of the gods.
Can I use wish to create a poison that will kill gods?
Can you use wish?
No, but he has a sorcerer friend that can at some point if he lives long enough.
Alright, we're getting off topic here.
Are there any... As it stands, we have 6 questions, which will mean 2 successful castings of Commune, or 1 Commune and a contact other plane.
With regards to the last question, perhaps specify that ask if it's going to be removed by anyone other than us.
That is a good one.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
That would be ironic. The answer.
As long as we don't have an invisible companion here, I suppose this might suffice. It might be safer to list us all. Anyone not in
The voice of change.
insert list of us. I would.
Ferret, like, hops onto your placard and, like, plunges its paw into the ink and slaps it down.
List of us.
At the bottom of the
And
list.
including Ferret.
He has a name.
Lord
Squeakers the Second.
Second. Okay, I thought that they were the third.
Don't forget the familiars as well.
And other familiars. Belonging to repeat list.
Ugh, this reminds me of coding.
Need not include me, scholar. I cannot interact with things of that nature.
You are also not a familiar, but thank you for the input. We're more colleagues. Okay, so I think that's the longest question now. Which will also be the second question.
Just wait till that one comes in unclear.
I'll throw hands. How was this unclear?
All right.
What?
I mean, if we're throwing out other questions that may be relevant to our current task, there is the topic of your friend Rowan. If he is in league with Loth, we may be seeing him relatively soon. Is there any questions you guys can think of that may benefit us in avoiding him? Well, maybe not avoiding, dealing with, hopefully in the non-lethal fashion.
We can ask if he's going to... We can ask if he is in the city or within some distance of it. That would be reasonable for him to traverse in the time that we have.
All right. And the only other thing I can think of is something of a bit more personal nature. There's an artifact down here in the Underdark that I want to try and locate more thoroughly. Referred to as either the Circlet of Inspiration or the Artist's Eye. It's currently in possession of the Drow House. What was it, Tristan? Like Moon something?
I have it. At the top of this page. I have so many pages in my notebook devoted to this campaign. You're looking for the house that has the sword?
In this case, I'm looking for the house that has... Well, we both need the house that has the sword and the house that has the Artist's Eye. / Circle of Inspiration.
The sword was at House Moonshadow. And the Artist's Eye was with House Nightbane.
Nightbane. Well, at least one of them had Moon in the name. Does anyone else have any questions?
Now that you mention Rowan, what are we planning on doing about him?
So I was just gonna kind of look around the room, see what other people's thoughts are.
I really wish things didn't get to the point that they did with him.
Yeah, but they did. So, what now?
I mean, if it comes to a fight, then I'll probably just go fine. But if we can avoid fighting him, if we can try to talk him down, I don't know.
Okay,
Is it something we want to do?
Brother?
Because, I mean, Jabba is going to turn to Larmedis. I mean, you can send to him, can't you?
I can. Well, there are things that he could do to prevent me from sending to him. I am unsure if he has taken those steps.
I suppose it's just something to keep in mind.
Is there a message that we wish to send him?
It depends on what we want to do. I mean, do we want to talk about what he's doing? Try to... I mean, what I understand, a lot of this has been caused by some sort of miscommunication. He thought one thing, you thought another.
I would make the case that he was led to believe one thing that was different from what I had assumed. Yes. Perhaps I should not have been making that assumption, but again, we're here now, so. I feel that it will be difficult to turn someone who seems to have so zealously thrown their lot in with a god such as Lolth.
Well, there's always a chance, and it's one I intend to take.
We are standing in a city of Drow that has abandoned Volk.
It is true.
And
my concern is more the zealotry of a recent convert. But that does not mean that it would not be possible.
Well, we don't have to do it right now. But I think it's probably a good idea just to keep it in mind.
Do we have any way of containing him so that we can continue about our plans and be able to have the time to address things with him as we can, though? If he is to confront us in the city and be at the forefront of preventing us from acquiring the sword, we will need to do something.
Maybe we could just turn him to a frog like Cyrus.
Yeah,
That
I
is-
could do that. Or try to do that.
That works for only a certain amount of time.
And I don't think holding him prisoner is going to help our case any. So, what is it that he wanted while he was with you?
Pretty much what we achieved here.
Alright, then why not try and show him that there is now a different path, even if there might not have been before.
I mean, Rowan was never a bad guy. So him turning so zealously to the wolf was a surprise. I'm willing to try to convince him.
What do you think might have caused that change? If you feel it's so drastic, there must have been something.
Other than us being jerks and not supporting him enough, I don't know what else was the tipping point.
I mean, it is quite possible that something happened when he went back to the Assassin's Guild.
Yeah.
That's another potential question.
Contact other plane. Contact other plane.
I mean, at this point, we will. Which means, but I already rolled my 1 today, so
Obviously, it can
Bro.
only happen once a day.
Don't tempt the gods of the dice. Do not tempt them.
I'm not over here making curse symbols at your dice.
I'm just gonna, if we do have to cast that spell, you could borrow this for the casting of it. I gesture to my cloak, which increases saves by 1.
That's boring. I can't attune.
It does not require attunement. It does not, because it is the Tristan version, not the Wizards of the Coast version.
Okay. I was gonna say I refuse to attune to anything else.
You put it on and you just feel more sure of yourself. In every regard.
Anywho.
So, I don't know. You could try and ask a question in regards to Rowan's intentions to possibly get some sort of leverage or angle you could use. And while I would like to try and bring him back to the side of light, it's not going to be up to me. It's not going to mean anything coming from a stranger. So if this is going to happen, it's going to be up to the lot of you.
I personally see very little chance that we could convince him that this changing situation involving the state of the drow and the surface is going to last. I believe that it will. I believe that we've set things up and connected the right people to see things grow. But I'm not sure how we could convince him of that. I imagine that if I began a lecture involving history and how many kingdoms have interacted with each other, that might be beginning to prove our point. By the time I get to anything that would be like a point, I would be dead.
Perhaps. Oh.
Mendes is not a persuasive person.
Yes.
On the other hand, quite persuasive. And Rowan was a friend. I'll do my best to try to convince him. Made some strides that certainly no one would have thought possible.
It all depends after our last meeting how willing he is to talk at this point.
He did seem fond of gloating.
Gloating, yes.
Which means that there is time to talk.
But listening is a whole other concept.
I mean, did we try and turn his time spent gloating back on him?
I'm just meaning after what happened last meeting. is what happened last time going to affect whatever next time might come our way? At that point, is he even going to be willing to speak, or is it just going to be straight out assault?
We can't know for sure.
Leah,
We go under the assumption that it's worth trying to talk to him.
even if we end up in a fight, I will try and take him down without killing him, and try and talk to him while doing so. But, Leah, I have a question for you. You made a habit of going and collecting the strands of hair from different members of this group. Do you happen to have one from him? Leah?
I didn't realize I was muted. I've been answering you the entire time. Yeah, you said I think so, and then we started looking through my book that I have the hair strands on.
That could be another avenue to explore with scrying.
Tristan, can you remember if
I told you had to write them down. I didn't keep track of any of the ones you collected.
Right. I might have written it down somewhere. The question is where, so it might be a while.
Your bag of holding.
No, more likely in the diary actually, since that's where she's been keeping them.
So, you know what you're gonna ask now? Or are you still figuring it out?
Well, at the very least, it seems like we have 3 questions related to the Silver Fang and our current goal, which means that is a commune. We then have 5 other questions. No, 6 other questions.
Alright, well, let's start with that commune and see what we get, and then go from there.
Okay. Let me...
Are you going to cast it here in this room?
Unless anyone has thoughts otherwise.
I mean, do we any chance you'd be willing to put up a private sanctum first, just in case? Your call.
It is not prepared. Why is it not prepared? What did I switch out? I switched out telepathic bond because I needed that as a spell, not a ritual.
Oh well.
Well, is.
It was a rough day yesterday.
It was, yeah.
Long day.
Yeah, only like a month and a half.
2. It was 10 sessions.
So if we want a private sanctum up when we do this, we would have to wait until tomorrow.
I don't think we have time for that. And the only way to know if we have time for that is to do this, so I suggest we do this.
Okay. What was the name of the city, Kristen?
A moon shadow hold the city of Onyx.
Do I need to be so specific to say the city of Onyx in the Underdark, the world of Amaranta, within X distance of us?
Why would you need to?
I mean, like, I don't know what if there's another city named Onyx. Like, if I'm like, yeah, the town.
No. It's called the City of Onyx.
Okay.
Like the City of Bronze,
Yeah,
Brass. Yeah. Like, it's exactly that kind of name.
Okay.
And you can even give its Underdark, say the name of it in Undercommon to be totally sure it's understood if you wanted. But yeah, the naming convention was taken from the City of Brass.
Cool.
You could say the Drow Fortress, the City of Onyx. That would probably be plenty specific.
Cool. I don't know how I feel about going to remove from within the next. I don't know if. How does commune deal with time things? And if your answer is the word unclear, to me, asking the voice in the sky right now.
Unclear. If you specify a time and the answer is clear within that time limit, then you will get a clear answer. But a lot of things can cloud the answer to these things. Like, if you get the answer unclear from this spell, it doesn't mean simply that your question was unclear. It could mean that the way that you formed the question or the end result of your question, that is unclear because it's looking into a future that is uncertain.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's really good to ask questions that are currently, like, the end point is to know the current status of something, because that's less likely to be unclear. The further out in the future you ask about something like, are we going to be the ones, for example, are we going to be the ones to take this thing from the city? You could get the answer yes, you could get the answer no, or you could get the answer unclear because threads of fate mean any number of people could be the one to take it from the city, and depending on how these things line up, it could be this person, that person, or you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I do not have Rowan's hair.
Okay.
Womp womp.
Yeah, I got the mirror way after Cyrus appeared, so...
I was pretty sure that was the case, but...
Yeah.
I am glad that you have a... And make a note somewhere so that you know who exactly you have.
Yeah.
How long of a travel is it for us to get to the city of Onyx? Had we been told that?
Yes. Well, you had been told that you would have guides, so you would get there quickly, but quickly is still a couple of days.
So I'm going to say 5 days. Does anyone have disagreements with that number?
Nope.
And Morwen used the word couple, and I use the word couple to mean two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I figure, let's say 2 days to get there, and then time to figure things out and get it. So like, maybe
2 days to get there, and then
3.
10 sessions of combat, and then...
2 days
And then the
there,
second
and
day
then
ends,
5
and
minutes
then...
there, and then, 2 months later, and it's been 5 minutes.
Okay, to be fair, 2 months later, it had been, like, several hours. It only took you, like, 3 sessions to beat the one fight. So, 3 sessions to go... I think it was a minute. I marked down how...
I forgot the name of our character.
Minute a month.
What was the name of the one we left in charge of in Bromdor?
Zephyrus?
Claire?
Claire.
And I wasn't thinking about Zephyrus. I was I was thinking about Claire. Yeah.
Okay, what about... You have what from her?
I would have.
You have
a
her
piece
hair?
of her hair.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
have a piece of her hair as well.
Okay.
And Zephyrus.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and my 3 friends there will have those as
Zephyrus would have given it to you willingly.
well. Yeah, like that. Yeah.
He is
Did I ask for that from the priestess here in Morrowind?
Morwen would not easily part with it. You haven't, in character.
No, right.
You
And
can...
I don't have hers. Yeah, because I would not try to yank that from any drow. I would not be daring enough for that.
Alright. But yeah, they don't, especially the leaders of this place, do not, they seem to have a good grasp on magic and not be willing to part with things that could be used against them.
Fair.
So yeah, the fight with the big monster was 13 rounds. So it was, a minute and 18 seconds.
Oh my god, I'm very far behind on my diary. Like that. Like the last diary piece was still in Volundar.
I got behind on the diary. My last diary piece mentioned Zook.
He tumbled and hid in a pile of snow, and we never saw him again.
Never saw him again. That was the last we ever heard from him.
He went to Narnia, apparently.
It turns out there was a portal through that bush.
Whoops. Turns out that was the perpendicularity.
Wound up in the Feywilds.
Where the hell am I?
Yeah,
And he was never seen or heard from again.
Like, where have you guys been?
You know what? It's fine. We kept the good players. I do miss Cade sometimes, though. He was fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was fun.
I miss the birds.
He became a
He was
liquid.
just passive-aggressive owl.
The spelling of his name changed every single.
Where can we put more accents? Alright, so...
I bet the birds outside his window.
You summoned your bird? What?
No,
Oh, yes, the crows that nested outside his actual window. I hear the cat rubbing up against your microphone again, Jacob.
Yeah, he likes to do that.
Okay.
The ferret just looks overwhelmed.
I'll give him pats and scratches.
What I have...
It's
Laying
okay,
dramatically on his
Here.
back on the ground.
This is, I think, my final wording. If somebody else wants to double check, I suppose saying Rowan, I don't know if it's specific enough. Is there something else that people can think of to say that's more specific?
I like that at the size I have Discord, it goes 1, 2, 5, 3 because the 5 days is on the next line down.
Mhm. What was the term that the Drow had used to refer to him? They'd called him Overlord? What was the word?
I think that was the word.
Overlord or the Chosen of Wolf, I think, was also an option.
Yeah, they did not use the term champion, is all I really remember. Okay, these are your 3. As everyone in agreement with these 3, please take a look in the chat and make sure this is what you think the most important questions to ask Commune are.
Looks good to me.
Leah?
Yeah, looks fine.
Jebel?
So commune has like a time limit of 5 days, does it?
Or by the instruction of one of insert our names.
Goodness gracious. Are you sure you're not dealing with a djinn?
Look, I don't know if you tell me that I can get away with being a bit more vague in my wording. I will be a little more vague in my for normal if
I just want you to feel good.
To a normal person.
I just want you to feel good that you are asking a question that will give you the answer you desire. I can't tell you. I can tell you that I believe these will give you the answer you desire. I'm just laughing at the lawyer speak.
Did you see the episode of The X-Files with the genie?
Yes, I did. So what do you think of these questions, Jeb?
No, I was just asking if commune has like the time limit of 5 days. Is that
no? But things become less clear as time goes on, just because more things can happen to do a thing.
Oh, okay.
So,
I was just wondering why 5 days. So it's
basically that's my way of getting at, is somebody planning on taking it out and likely to succeed in taking it out of the city that isn't us?
Yeah.
Because if we get there in 2 days, we figure out where it's being kept on the 3rd, on the 4th try and get it, and at that point we've made enough of noise between here and there that they take it away. If it takes us more than 5 days to get to it, it's likely going to be gone, is my thinking.
Okay.
Yuki, what do you think of these questions?
I'm fine with them.
Do we want to have a backup question for number 2 if number 1 is answered no?
I mean, we probably should if it's going to be answered. If it might be answered no, because then it makes 2 irrelevant.
I mean, we could just move on to the questions about Tatsuya.
If it's not in the city.
It would also make 3 irrelevant because we wouldn't need to know if he's within distance of City of Onyx.
If the answer to 1 is no, I suppose we could ask if traveling the city would lead us to finding out where it is? Are there clues in the city? Would there be clues in the city about where it has been taken?
I feel like there would be. I don't know if we need to ask that.
Minutes. Am I gonna get to answer these questions this episode?
Is it being brought to another Drow stronghold?
Anyone have any objection to that as a backup question?
That's fine.
No.
Yuki?
Nope.
Because I feel like that'll be able to. We'll then be able to figure out later on about narrowing things down afterwards later. Okay, cool.
Good to go?
I believe so.
Okay.
If it's no, do we have a backup third question?
I feel like if the first one is no and the second one is no, if the first one is no and the second one is yes, like the backup one, if it's being taken to another Drow stronghold, it's still useful to know if Rowan is close to the city of Onyx, because we're going to need to go through it.
But if it's no and no,
then we should probably have a third question.
You've got that list of like 8 other questions that you can draw from.
Is it being taken to the surface?
If it's not being taken to a Drow stronghold, it's probably being taken to the surface.
But are there other strongholds that are not Drow in the Underdark?
Possibly. I vote. I mean, let's stick with. I think it's likely that it's going to stay with the Drow, and either way, we'll be able to ask other questions for clarification later on from that. So if it's no and then no, I vote we just ask did Tatsuya speak with Shisharan to get them to cease the attack on the Dragonborn camp in the desert? Does anyone have objections to that? I think that no is very unlikely.
I vote for that.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Everyone else?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait.
You begin casting your spell. Speaking in Celestial. The walls of the room seem to buzz with the echo of your voice.
I will say I can't ask the questions in Celestial because I don't know Celestial. I imagine casting the spell is probably in Celestial, but
I hope somebody here speaks Celestial.
I look at
Raiken
Raiken.
does. And doesn't Leah understand all languages?
Read, not hear.
the commune spell says nothing.
You're speaking to a divine entity.
The commune spell
thing
says
Raiken knows
nothing
less.
about language.
Raiken, can you translate those into celestial form?
Yes, I should be able to.
You hear a heavenly voice speaking in Celestial from the ceiling, and the walls vibrate with each of the droning words as it says, "Speak your questions." knowledge to share.
Am I supposed to do it then?
Did you want Raiken to do it since you want the thing asked in Celestial, or do you want me to do it?
I mean, it's going to answer in Celestial. I didn't say anything about what you spoke.
Okay. Is the Silver Fang still in the Drow Fortress of the City of Onyx?
The room rumbles with a response. Raiken, you understand the word yes.
It said yes.
Excellent. Is the Silver Fang going to be removed from the Drow Fortress of the City of Onyx within the next 5 days by... let me pull up an actual list of us. Vendar, Leah, Cyrus, Jebel. I'm pointing as I'm saying the names. Raiken, Yukikaze, or myself, or by the instruction of one of those just listed.
There is a pause longer than the first question, and the room rumbles again, and you hear the celestial word, Raiken, unclear.
It said unclear.
Noted. Is Rowan... we'd want being more specific. I don't know. Rowan, who had once traveled with us and been referred to as Overlord by at least some Drow, within 2 days' travel by foot at his normal running pace of the Drow Fortress of the City of Onyx.
The room rattles once more. You can hear small items on the shelves shuffling toward the edge, and you once again understand the celestial word, Raiken, or yes.
It said yes again.
Excellent. Those are our 3 questions. Thank you. How do I say thank you in Celestial? As the like spell ends.
The room feels somewhat emptier as the spell ends, as though someone has stepped out who you could not see before. What's your next move?
I'm going to summon my familiar and have them go fly to the gate and see if there's been any arrivals.
Good. They fly off. They'll return in a few minutes. Anybody else got anything?
Do we wish to attempt to commune again from the other list of questions regarding Tatsuya?
I don't see why not.
I would like to get more of an idea what's going on.
Okay, I'm going to bring my questions down. Okay, and we are attempting another commune. So we get the 3? Or I'm casting contact other planes, so we get all 5 in one go.
You're the caster, you tell me.
I'm just gonna ask Raiken to pass him my cloak.
Raiken will take the cloak and then give it to Laramentis.
Put the cloak on.
Yeah.
You do feel the course of magic in it flow into you. As you put it on, without needing to attune it, you feel protected, mentally fortified. Your constitution is better.
Oh.
I feel naked without it.
Almost be able to resist being knocked down if someone were to try it. Alright, we doing this?
I am finalizing the questions.
Now, contact other plane, you have no idea who you're talking to, right?
You mentally contact a demigod, the spirit of a long-dead sage, or some other mysterious entity from another plane. That is it.
Gotcha.
So no.
It will be a much less pleasant experience, even should I succeed on the save.
But hey, at least you can speak in, like, common.
I asked the questions in common.
I know, but they can hear the answers in common.
That specification does not say that they answer in common.
I can hope.
It says just as little as the other spell.
What are the colors of the dragons? Black, green, white, red.
Blue.
Blue.
What is the name of the white dragon?
I will pull it up.
We know that at least 3 dragons have been awoken. Do we know that 4 have?
Yes, because we've met. Like,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, I got. Yeah, the white one turned up and said that the blue one was waiting for them.
No, the blue one showed up and said an
White
older
one.
an older brother was waiting for them.
And we already know the green's awake.
Yeah.
And Bahamut gave us a hint.
Hint is an interesting word for it.
Or gave us, pretty much told us only one's asleep.
Okay. So
apparently Cyrus just rattles off the names of all the dragons.
Well, so Laramendus remembers. Sam does not remember.
Widemir.
Okay.
I thought it was an in-character thing, so that's why I let Derek do it. Otherwise, I would have just said it.
Okay, so
Well, yeah. I guess if he already names, I wouldn't have needed to rattle it off. So, I mean, I could. I just
if he's not asking it out loud, which I thought he was.
I mean, I'm fine ruling that Laramendus doesn't remember off the top of his head. So if
You came in more than a month ago, Mr. 1 month eidetic memory.
was it? Has it been more than a month since we spoke with Saltharis?
I think it has, yeah.
Probably not much more, but so these are the questions that I have down for the contact other plane.
Okay.
Does anyone have any thoughts on them?
I'm okay with them.
I suppose for 3 through 5, if the answer to 1 is no, the person listed there is the one who convinced Shasharan to cease her attack.
Sure. In this case, it's still yes, no, or not still yes, no?
Yes, no, maybe, never, irrelevant, or unclear.
Okay. Very well.
More answers that you have to give.
And then if a one-word answer would be misleading, the GM might instead offer a short phrase as an answer. So same thing about that. But these questions aren't really worded in such a way that one of those answers is misleading.
Very well. You cast your spell, Contact Other Plane.
You might get a servant of Tiamat.
Does it describe what this looks like, or can I, or do you want to? Why don't you describe what it looks like?
I mean, I have no input into what answers.
Right, I'm asking him for the description of what the spell looks like to cast and what you're talking to.
I feel like that should be on you.
Very well.
I feel if I get to describe what I'm talking to, then it's probably pushing it more towards.
I mean, does the entity appear?
I don't believe so.
Then-
You mentally contact this thing, so I feel some presence that is not me.
Okay.
So I don't know if anyone else could actually hear the answers. And
Well.
it's enough strain to possibly break my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, I should roll a save.
You should.
That is a 4 on die.
Nice. Which I assume still saves.
Yes, being near Raiken, and because he adds 3.
He does.
Okay, so with the cloak and Raiken, I have an 18. So yeah, that beats the 15. So
Okay.
I do not go insane.
We're gonna go insane with Raiken and the cloak. You literally couldn't. You rolled a 1. You couldn't.
But now I can lose concentration. It's horrible.
Allow me to cry for you. Very well. You begin your spellcast or ritual cast?
Ritual.
You begin
It
this
takes 11 minutes.
ritual casting. Make it interesting. Just say that it will involve a brass saucer of water, which you whisper your questions to, and it burbles, but you understand the answers, as though a person is speaking to you. That sounds fun, right?
Sure.
Cool. So, you finish casting this, and you begin whispering to this saucer of water, and it bubbles back as you hear a voice in your head as though part of your telepathic bond, though no one else seems to be aware. The voice kind of groans at first and says, "Long time indeed since anyone's called upon me, but long have I watched. What do you want to know?"
Everything, but I'll settle for these.
I admire ambition. That is what led me here. Please.
Did Tatsuya of House Lumas speak with Shasharan to get her to cease her attack on the Dragonborn camp in the desert?
Goings-on of your world have been interesting of late. The answer you seek is yes.
So everyone else who can't actually hear the answers, I believe, they just hear the burbling, will see Laramendus, make a face.
Is that pooping face?
Nobody here knows that. Has Karasoth, the Red Dragon, child of Tiamat, been unsealed?
Any great powers rise in your world. Your wording is strange, but your answer is yes.
Does Tatsuya of House Lumas or someone under his command have possession of the gem to unseal Widemir?
Trials are great, expanses are vast. The answer for you I have. No.
Does Tatsuya of House Lumas know the general vicinity of the gem to unseal Widemir?
The mind is difficult to know. What is known may be unknown. Perhaps.
Does Tatsuya of House Lumas have plans to head towards the gem to unseal Widemir?
I have seen this. It is yes.
Thank you for your time.
Always a pleasure to help those who seek my knowledge. What I learn from them is far more interesting. And the voice fades away. The bubbles in the water stop.
Note to self. Next time we use that spell, reserve one question for asking who they are.
That won't be useful.
I beg to differ. I'm quite curious.
No, I mean, like, what question, given the answers that you get,
that's
can you
that's
ask?
fair.
You can be like, are you a fiend? But, like, really, there's some that would be fine with the contacting. You know, like, by the time any of the information becomes relevant, it's, you know, long past you're dead. I have the answers. It was Tatsuya who spoke with Shasharan. Karasoth has been unsealed, which means the one remaining should be Widemir. Tatsuya or someone under his command does not possess the gem. I forgot to switch to ally. Oh well. But the fifth question kind of makes that less
Severe?
Yeah. He perhaps knows the general vicinity of the gem and has plans to head towards it.
Well, it's a good thing we asked, as it seems my theory was wrong.
Had a theory?
Yes, that it was Karthoth, because that was his domain down in the southern region. So I wonder what had Widemir, is that how you say it?
Widemir?
Yeah. I wonder what had Widemir so far from his lair.
It is entirely possible that the gem was brought there and it is not his resting place.
suppose that's possible.
It would be an ideal situation.
Place the key upon the opposite side of the world from its lock.
So we believe Tatsuya is heading towards where he think the gem is?
That seems a reasonable reading of the answers to the questions, that he does not know for sure where it is, generally, but has reason to suspect that it is in a location he is heading towards.
I find the answer irrelevant, very interesting. Irrelevant to whom or to what?
You are asking the wrong kinds of questions.
Right?
So, does it sound like he's doing this on purpose then?
None of the questions touched upon, his motives, whether he is under some compulsion. Just they're focusing on his actions. I feel like, given the answer to the fourth question that I received, asking about the motives through these means is likely to be a waste of a question. Unless we ask very specifically about certain spells that could compel someone to do something.
All right. Well, at least gives us some material to work with. So we know that the Silver Fang is in the city of Onyx, and that ruin is close by. If not there already.
Well, you've all been given a great many things to think about for next time.
Aww.
On Everybody Loves Raiken.
Maybe then they'll be able to finally have that conversation.
With whom, your dad?
Indeed.
I don't know who that is. Never heard of him.
He goes, it's not like I've almost never talked to him in like the last few years.
Somebody shows up at the gate, does all the things, and it turns out they're just some person with like a postcard from your father that says "wishing you were here."
All right, everybody, take another 800 experience for roleplay. Good job.
Woo.
800.
800.
800.
And I am 98 experience.
Nice.
Write a journal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a journal too.
I am
a journal entry, more like
Wow. My phone keeps doing very weird things when it gets to low power these days. Like, it gets down to, 11%, and it's like, hey, you're low power. And I go, oh, okay, I'm low power. And then it goes 7, 5, 3, off. It's like, what?
Yep, mine does that too.
It never used to do that.
Neither did mine.
Like it. I did update it kind of recently. Maybe it's some problem with their new OS. Anyway, we'll see you next week.